children were weak and hungry. I took you to my bosom, fed you my oil. And even when you took and wasted and left me drained, there was always love for you in my soil. Even when my older children, they tried to shame me, setting no rules for the younger ones, bringing such grief and sadness into my household. In the end, they're still my daughters and sons. I will always be there for you. No matter what you do, whatever joy or pain that you are going through, I will always be there for you. I will be always there for you.
All right, and of course, that's a nice way for us to move into this segment, being always there for you, courtesy of the Foundation for Human Development, and they're always here for us also. This is where we go on the inside with Steve Williams on a Wednesday. Steve, how are you? Good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm good today. Thank God for that. In fact, I'm more than good. I'm very good. So, sometimes I'm glad to say that. Other times I say, well, so coming along, But I'm not so today. I'm very good today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is good. When you can get up and you can say that, life is good.
Yeah, boy. And you could give thanks. Always give thanks because
Yeah.
tomorrow is not mine.
Always remember to do that.
Tomorrow is not mine. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about something called imbalance. Imbalance is about um, the way in which we live and the number of people who actually begin their lives with a certain amount of imbalance. And when I'm balanced, I'm talking about emotional and psychological and physical and so on. And what we require to survive in this world is a certain amount of balance in the self. The inner self must be balanced in a particular way. And sometimes we are very much imbalanced because a lot of the people that I chat with and so on would normally share their journeys, the journey of how they arrived at what they have become to be, the disillusionment with themselves and so on. So I want to talk about what creates the imbalance today. And it's really something called disconnectedness. And disconnected from ourselves. And in that disconnectedness, we find ourselves longing for ways in which we can so-called enjoy life on this earth. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. Many people have written tremendously on this. I was talking to a young man the other day.
I will be always there for you.
Yeah, see, we have a little internet fallout here with Steve.
children were weak and hungry, I took you to my bosom, fed you my oil. And even when you took and wasted and left me drained, there was always love for you in my soul. Even when my older children, they tried to shame me, setting no rules for the younger ones, bringing such grief and sadness into my household. In the end, they're still my daughters and sons. I will always be there for you. No matter what you do, whatever joy or pain that you are going through, I will always be there for you. I will be, I will be, I will be always there for you. Everybody always call me a blessed mother. Mama Trini, God must love you, they'd say. Hello, high water, I would just rise and embrace you, protecting my children in every way. Even when you fight and argue about different fathers, remember, the middle passage brought them straight to my door. Mama never worry about no race, I just love them. And so my blood is spoiled when you start to walk. I will always be there for you. No matter what you do, whatever joy or pain that you are going through, I will always be there for you. I will be, I will be, I will be always there for you. So if you really want to make your old lady happy.
All right, so I do apologize, people. We do apologize for, we lost Steve a little bit. He's trying to get back in. I don't know if there's an outage in his area or whatever it is, but um, we lost that internet connection. And of course, we are internet based. So when someone internet goes down or there's a disruption in some part, you normally get these kinds of follow. So this is all part of what internet radio is. It's nothing that that we can do from our side, right? So bear with us a little bit, and I'm trying to see if I can get him inside again. So I'm waiting on him. So and as soon as I get him inside, we will continue with the program.
I will always be there for you. I will be, I will be, I will be always there for you. I will always be there for you. No matter what you do, whatever joy or pain that you are going through, I will always be there for you. I will be, I will be, I will be always there for you.
Ooh, yeah. It's poor
as I am, I've got my ambition. Keep my distance from war and contention. I might not be rich, but I sure got stars. Got some good friends, but still some who hate me. Tell their lies and still that don't quake me. The joy that's inside brings out my healthy smile. Try if you want, can't stop me. Lie if you want, still won't move me. Won't move me, no, won't move me at all. So try if you want, can't stop me. Lie if you want, still won't move me. Won't move me, no, won't move me at all. I know who I am, I don't matter nobody. Underestimate me and you'll end up sorry. The Father will humble you like a child. I'm getting stronger, so much stronger. Day by day, I'm getting stronger. So much stronger. Can't move me, no. So try if you want, can't stop me. Lie if you want, still won't move me. Won't move me, no, won't move me at all. Try if you want, can't stop me. Lie if you want, still won't move me. Won't move me, no.
All right. Seems that we are making some measure of progress.
Yes,
Yes.
Let me tell you what I did.
Mhm.
The fortunate thing is I usually have a little backup. So we are on Flow, right? Apparently, Flow is giving trouble. And I had done a backup. I also installed Amplayer. So I had to rush to get the password so that I could hook up the Amplayer. So that
Yeah,
is
well, yeah. Well, I am just like that here too. Because of what I don't want to lose anything. So sometimes one goes down. So I too. So I have to pay for two internets. You know,
yes, yes.
sometimes I don't even use the other one. But you have to have a backup.
That's what I did. So I said, where did I? And I don't use Amplay at all. So I said, where the hell I put the password? And I look it all about. And I
Yeah, yeah,
found
yeah.
the thing. But Flo has been giving some worries this morning. I don't know what their problem is. Anyway, let me get back to balance and imbalance. Well, that's good balance, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll check
All
to
right.
see how the balance is working.
I'm going to see how the balance working. So, I was just talking about the way in which people live their lives, and not through any fault of theirs. It's just what society brings us to be. We have to be moving quickly. We have to produce a lot. We have short time to do that. We have to make a lot of money because everything gets expensive. And so we are greedy people too. So we have to get more and more and more all the time. And this would cause us to be a little bit imbalanced. And I want to talk about the ways in which we are. And the first thing is about disconnection with our bodies. Okay. Research has shown that there's a 2021 study in Frontiers in Psychology that people with lower body awareness were more likely to have elevated blood pressure and higher inflammation markers. So I don't want to get into that, but I want to talk a little bit more about how we're disconnected. When you see yourself trying to absorb a lot of coffee and caffeine and so on, to make up for the times that you have to do, you're becoming imbalanced. When you go days without noticing how your body feels until something happens and hurts badly enough and you have to run to the doctor, you are disconnected from your body. When you ignore that tension headache that comes every day at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the evening, and you say, oh God, where is this headache coming from? And all you do is swallowing Panadol and swallowing Tylenol and so on. You know it's a tension headache to some extent. Eh? When those things happen to you, you mean you're disconnected from your body. We're not aware of what's going on within us. And we can ignore and we can deny for only so long because bodies don't lie to us, they tell us the truth all the time. And so, for many of us, that disconnection leads to a number of issues, and issues in terms of how we behave, how we treat each other, how a lot of issues. So that is, it's a big thing, but it's a small thing in a sense. The biggest disconnection, of course, is with our emotions. Um, Many of a 10-year study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that emotional suppression was associated with a 30% higher risk of cardiovascular disease. So I'm talking here about the fact that remember before I got cut off, I was sharing about this young man who had a heart attack, and he said he's quite young. And of course, he went through all the thing and he got help and so on from his doctors and so on. And what I was saying is that there are hidden factors that lead to that. And even when I had my own heart attack, I didn't realize the number of hidden factors, not just the physical ones with the cholesterol and the high blood pressure and all these basic areas that we don't pay attention to, but the hidden subtle ones. And the biggest one for that is the emotional suppression. Now, when you say, when somebody says, "Oh, you're going well," you say, "I'm fine," yes, when you are anything but fine. You know, to get the person off your back now. I okay, man, I good to go. I all right, I good. Then there are times when you feel anxious and angry, but you can't identify what triggered that. And then there are many people who are too busy to even grieve the losses in their lives. And that's a big one. And I saw that with a young lady the other day, so much so, um, she lost her good friend, but she had to get back to work, and she had to swallow the grief, and she couldn't afford to be weepy and cry on the job because people want to know what is wrong with her. And so I met another young man who lost his job, and he was talking about how hard it is having lost his job, etc., etc. And but we have to grieve these things. We have to feel it in our bones. We have to cry. We have to bawl. We have to hold our hands in our heads and put it down and say, "Oh God, what has happened to me?" We have to do that. We have to allow the emotions to sink in, the anger, the grief, the pain, the suffering, the disillusionment with life. We have to allow that. Because when we suppress it, which we do in order to get ahead or to not let other people worry about us, when we do those things, they create in us a whole blockage of movement of the very body, of the movement of the blood and so on. So when we find ourselves um, with a lot of emotional issues that we're not addressing, then we are in for a big one down the road, whatever that big one might be. And so it's critical, if we are to be living a fairly balanced life, to address the emotional issues in our lives. Nobody operates without some emotional story. Nobody. Everybody has an issue. Nobody operates without an emotional story in their life. The other one is a disconnection from others. Now, again, I found another study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, and they found that social isolation increased the risk of heart disease by 29% and the risk of stroke by 32%, making loneliness, notice this, loneliness as dangerous to cardiovascular health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Nobody thought that. It's only now the studies and the research, 2023, now the studies are coming out. And now the research is telling us basic loneliness is even more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. You see where we're going with this? In a sense, and what is this loneliness and how do we get to this point of loneliness? Well, you know, um, I looked at recently, and in my own life, I can see it. Um, I had a recent birthday, and people would prefer to text rather than call. Now, I want you to just see the now we say it's more efficient, maybe. I want you to see the distance created in texting and calling. A call means I'm literally going to give you my presence. I'm going to talk with you. I'm going to say to you, I'm going to encourage conversation. When I'm texting, there's no conversation. There's just a brief line or two lines. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're enjoying yourself. So there's a distance there. And sometimes we do more of that than we actually have word conversation. Don't talk about face to face. That's another whole story by itself. Then there's so many of us who maintain all these thousands of superficial online connections while neglecting the deeper bonds. Some of us are not bonded deeply with anybody, even the people we're living with, they don't know anything about us. We're not bonded deeply with anybody. We have lots and lots of superficial connections all over the place. And then we have those who attend a lot of social gatherings. But even in the midst of the social gatherings, they are distracted by their phone or their thoughts about work, so they can't be present. What I'm getting at is the whole question of presence. The key to any success in life has to do with presence these days. We had presence before because we had less distractions. So we enjoyed each other's company. But now we're not like that anymore. Now we have all these connections and all these devices that we use to connect with each other. And we don't have the presence. I don't enjoy the company of someone who will actually take time to spend time with me. And there's so many elderly people who are surviving on texts and phone calls, and because nobody has time to go and visit. Nobody's time to visit. I remember my dad, he was, 80, 90 something, and he was sitting in the gallery there looking out, and I would go and check him and so on. And I would meet people who know him. And they would say, boy, I really have to go look for your father. My father was a principal and he helped many people in terms of their educational development. And so many people remember that. And many people are grateful for his involvement in their educational advancement. They did well, they got degrees and so on. And when they meet me outside, they say, boy, I really have to go and look for your father, Boy, you know how much that man did for me? Never came. And I would watch him sit in that porch there every single day with not one person. No, not one, and I mean not one. So what I'm not vexed with the people, but people have their lives to live. What I'm saying is we have forgotten the importance of presence, of sitting with someone, of just looking into a person's eyes and sharing. And even couples, even married people, even people living together, forget about presence, One texting, one in the kitchen, the other one in the living room. I couldn't understand that. One is texting, one in the living room, one in the kitchen. Where is the presence? Where is the sitting down together and they're talking things through? And this enjoyment, even if you are upset with someone, you can share what this being upset is all about. So I find we have found ourselves in a lot in isolation, although we're extremely well connected. And that in itself is where we are. For a lot of people, they spend more time on their professional accomplishments rather than their personal issues with people. So that you get exhausted sometimes in talking to people. As soon as you begin the conversation, it's about this and the job and this and the what and this boss and they have a promotion they get and didn't get the promotion, and if they could figure out a way to do another course and they have to do this, and it's always about their achievements, where they have to go, what they have to achieve, and the amount of money they have to make. And they're sitting down, they may sit down and say, so how things going, how things going with your health, how things going, how are you managing, and so on. Done, all that gone, finish. So there's a great disconnection from others, which we live, although we are highly connected through our devices. Then there is disconnection from nature. Now, we spend more time indoors, separated from the natural environment than anywhere else. And again, there are lots of studies that point to the fact that a lot of people and our children, I was talking about it the other day, our children who go to these schools and so on, all these air conditioned schools and classrooms and so on, nothing is open, windows are closed, everything is shut. You travel in your car, every window is turned up, the AC is on. So we don't even walk on the grass barefooted anymore because there's no grass to walk on for many of us. There's very little contact with nature. There are people who go, and we are living in a very tropical climate, and there are people who go for days and weeks without feeling sunshine on their skin. Can you imagine that? And sunshine is key, for your vitamin D, etc., etc. But we go for weeks. We rather buy a bottle of vitamin D tablets than we would walk in the hot sun because we say we can't take that sunburn in my skin anymore. We work under artificial lights from morning until night, most of us. We're just in these artificials, no touch with nature. We don't sit quietly and observe plants and animals and so on. All these things are creating an imbalance in us, and an imbalance that brings about the kinds of diseases that we find ourselves with. We're living in doctors, we're living on medication all the time, and all the medication has side effects, so we have to take medication to address the side effects. And the basic things of taking a simple walk. I know a lady who partially healed herself by just walking on the beach barefoot on the sand. And I don't even want to get into the research that talks about the kind of ways that reduces the inflammation in your body. But let us just talk about the fact that we need to spend time in nature, with plants, with animals, walking on the grass, because all those are simple things that bring a certain amount of balance back into our lives. And then, of course, the big one is that many of us are disconnected from purpose. Now, there's another big study of over 136,000 people found that those with a strong sense of purpose in life had a 23% lower risk of death from all causes. 23% lower risk because you had a purpose. You had a meaning for getting up in the morning. And as one person said to me, Steve, I need a reason to get up in the morning. And this was a young man, 20 years old. And he tried a few jobs, some didn't work out and so on. And he sat there and he just looked out into the space, He said, I need a reason to get up in the morning. I need to figure out what matters most to me. Now, many of us get up in the morning and we go to many jobs that we don't like. We know we have to do the job because we have to get money, and we know we have to get money to cater for basic needs and so on, and understandably so. But for many of us, we don't have a deep sense of commitment or purpose to what we're doing and what we like to do. And therefore, it is important that we get something that provides a certain amount of meaning. We shouldn't be asking the question, is that all there is to life? So let us begin to redirect our lives. Let us begin to look at connection and how we do that. Well, what everybody says, a little more exercise and so on, a little more rest, a little more sleep, 7 hours a day if you can, a little reduction in the sugars and so on, and all those fast food things that we eat. We need to get more involved with our emotions, journal them, talk about them, get somebody that you can confidently share with and say, things really not good with me today. not feeling well, having problems with my child, having problems with my daughter, problems and so on, and you can share that and talk through the pain that you're having. We all have grief in our lives for one reason or another. We need to practice ways in which we can share that with someone, allow that those emotions to externalize themselves out of our bodies, so on. Then we need to spend some time outdoors, 30 minutes a day or a week or whatever it is, just to bring some balance. All these are things so to bring some balance. And then a big one is sometimes we have become so selfish and self-centered because everything is self. We forget that we are actually here to give, that the gifts that we've received, whether the gift is in speech or the gift is in electronics or the gift is whatever it is, carpentry or share, whatever it is, we are supposed to give. So when somebody tells me about purpose, I'm saying, find out what you want to give this world. And when you find out what you want to give this world, then only then you will find purpose. Because it's all about giving. It's not just about receiving. It's not just about how much money you could make and whether you could purchase a Audi or whatever it is you want to get because you have to look better than the others and so on, and you want this kind of shoe and that kind of thing. No. So we need to build ourselves that way, and we do that in a spiritual way. We do that in recognizing that there is a higher power. There is a higher person than we are, and that person is guiding and providing help and instructing and so on. So once we do that, we have a greater sense of purpose, greater sense of connecting to something larger than ourselves. And when you connect with something larger than yourself, it makes it easier for you to connect to the others. So you can connect to your body, you can connect to other people, connect to the friends that you're with, and you can connect to nature, most important. So let me pause there. It's a little seesaw because of the internet connection issue. But really, I was trying to get across the fact about imbalance and how do we bring some balance into our lives so that we can necessarily be more successful and even be happier in a sense as we go through a very difficult time of living in anxiety, very much so. We're not sure what's going to happen. Look at what happened the Friday gone. Everybody rushing home, thinking the war starting the next day and all kinds of things. Pure anxiety. Pure anxiety. Half of this country will need psychiatrists in a short while. So let me pause there and get your comments on how do we bring more balance into our lives.
Okay, so people, this is where you can get in on the show, and I hope that you would get in on the show. You can call us at 281-1315. That's 281-1315. We're talking with Steve Williams, courtesy of the Foundation for Human Development. And yeah, and we do so on a Wednesday. Um, Steve, this whole thing about balance and this world, if you depend on it or look to people to be there for you for a lot of things, it's cruel, the world moves on, every day
Yes,
every day you stop, the world moves on,
that is true.
and regardless of how you try sometimes to fight certain things, or the world is moving on, and sometimes even with people who are around you, um, they are moving on all around you too,
Yeah.
and it can, and if you're not able to go inside yourself and be at peace with yourself and keep yourself in a particular way to maintain that balance, the world gets very sad.
Hard.
Yeah, it really does. But I have a call here. Let's take the call. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, hey, good morning. Hey, Steve.
Morning, Dean.
Who, uh,
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't hear what you said.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, your last statement there that this country will need a lot of mental support, paraphrasing, is something that I always find because we always kind of talk about psychology and mental health. on an individual level and not on a national level.
Mm-hmm.
And and or even a community level, that a group of people could be suffering almost the same types of symptoms, either from historical or even from modern present day kind of stress values, people
Yes.
who working under toxic conditions, or you
Mm-hmm.
know they're coming back to the community and bringing back those unhealthy type of thing into the community, into the household. And people don't see that. A lot of people feel that the individual is just this individual who must just do that. And I've always, as a person who see aesthetics as something that could support communities and re-evaluating themselves, because I like to promote this kind of and I try it in communities. This idea of participatory aesthetic development, just working with people in their communities to around their own aesthetics and how they could see that as part of their community. And when you see young children, primarily young children I work with, some
Mm-hmm.
adults, but when they do see it, they feel better. You could see the kind of change within
Yeah.
yourself to wanting all the things that you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that this space, because a lot of people, I remember somebody went to and you eat a lie down on the grass, and the security officer came across. It was a foreigner, laid on her blanket. Lunchtime, come out, read
Yes.
about lunch break. The security guard was like, "What?" And he was like, "You can't do that." And she was, "What do you mean I can't do that?" There's this back and forth conversation. So it
Mm-hmm.
went around the campus that because the security officer was obviously, that is not a normal trainee trait then, lunchtime.
Yeah.
But for them, son, for the sun, seeing sun is just so thing, and to come out and sit down in the sun was something for them to do, for her to do, and she felt comfortable doing it, whereas we are uncomfortable doing it or seeing it, and, and want to and wanted to kind of uh, you know
Shut it down.
secure it or get
Yeah.
chuck it to the corner.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that these kind of issues of aesthetics in communities and how could really support people mental health. I know it have this thing called the research around environmental design, when they say how much green the individual is supposed to see. But we have a lot of green, and but
Yes.
but green,
Yeah.
they were doing that in cities. Because if you don't see the green, you're just living in a concrete jungle. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of devalues you don't they don't see it, but it adds a difference. So they call it the green pill. How much green you need to take in, and people have been doing these kind of analysis around how. And this is my thing, but the national health, mental health, and I've been trying people to get to understand that our mental state of mind. We like to talk about money and right, on this radio show before you come in. Let's talk about, this thing, money, thing. But the social health of it don't matter if you have money, if you're middle class and you're bright like that, and if you're a working class doing your thing, everybody, the whole nation of Trinidad and Tobago, suffering an equally amount of mental stress.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to figure out maybe different groups, different ways and different pressure points. But we all need something that will allow us to reach our, optimal human aesthetic or beauty. And I don't think we're there yet, because we all looking at our individual bling bling and
Yes.
success, because my son is an engineer, but he's suffering. I sat down with that guy in his BMW talking. He's an engineer. His whole family is an engineer, and he was
Mm-hmm.
unhappy because he always wanted to do something in aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but you're an engineer now. Why don't you now build your studio and express yourself, and stuff? And because his family holding him, but he was unhappy,
Mm-hmm.
an unhappy rich young man. it was interesting, and we always feel that we good. And I find we need to explore this idea of national health. Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, man.
Thanks very much, Dean.
So
Yeah.
true, huh? He's so true, so true, so true. You know, a little thing, a little I'm just when it comes to national mental health, I was just looking at last week Friday. I was home, fortunately, or whatever it is, and keep getting all these calls. And the first one was my daughter who says, "You doing anything now? I want to leave. I go and pick up my child because
Yeah.
I hear this and that and one chaos out there." I said, "I'm not going out there." One chaos, nothing was moving for weeks, for miles. And I recognize that is tension, anxiety building up inside of us. And sometimes I think our leaders don't recognize how much they contribute to the national mental health or ill health, I
Yeah.
should say, of our people. Anyway,
So
not
true.
to go down
So,
that road.
so true. Julia, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Mr. Steve.
Morning, morning.
Nice, nice. Again, I like it to pick. I like to talk on this important topic. Important
Yeah, but your song ain't kind of thin this morning. I don't know why.
sorry now?
Kind of thin. You're not the normal. Yeah, I don't know if it's
Well,
position of the phone,
I have a more ever, and I think, I don't know
but
every location has to, I don't point important, Sir Charles. So I
oh,
don't know if
okay.
location
But go
has to.
ahead. We're hearing you. We're hearing you.
Okay, we hear you.
All right, nice. So, the channel speak up, right? Mr. Steve,
Mm-hmm.
um, do you think that well, I think again always having a balanced life is important, right? And here was that do you know some people feel guilty for having a balanced life? Some people feel that they always have to work and they always feel like some people feel guilty if they take time to do something that they like for themselves. So I don't know
Yes.
if you ever come across people like that.
Yes, yes, that's how we've been cultured. We've been cultured to work like
Yeah,
dogs, and we have to keep working.
yeah. And I then we kind of baffled by that. Why would you feel guilty if you had especially in the time that we are living in now, Mr. Steve, and
Mm-hmm.
you
Okay.
like going to live your whole life working to achieve because sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
also use achieving so for advice. Let me give a perfect example, Mr. Steve. I know somebody that was in the army trying to
Mm-hmm.
build a house for his family.
Right.
Right? Working at this goal every opportunity he built this house. His wife was even asking him, boy, you need to slow down. It's sometimes that he's not feeling well, but you know what? He felt that day I had a focus on building and completing this house.
Yeah.
Eventually, that day he went to do something on the house and fell down. And because nobody was there, he died.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the wife now don't know what to do to have been going to complete the house. She is talking about looking to sell the house.
That's
Then
correct.
what he was building, you see, you are that old thinking that, but then you're not even around to benefit or to benefit your achievement,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you find a lot of people like that, and yes, for right, there, Mr. Steve, I will encourage people, even myself, right? You have to
Mm-hmm.
have, and one of the things that Mr. Steve, in the times that we live in now, you need to have a support system
Yes.
here because
Yes.
a lot of people don't have a support system and a lot of people going through things that I mean it's how more people I see Mr. Steve outside than inside. It's just like I don't know by the grace of God some people
Mm-hmm.
are not acting out but I am telling you and a support system is one of the again, it's a lot of people you would have turned to people that they think you can trust, and they would have hurt you. So, so the extreme to that is, you see me, I cannot depend on nobody and they believe in their life. But look at the people, look at the support system, look at the people that you have around you.
Yes.
They are then to your level of stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the simple thing, right? Like how Dean talk about the greenery thing. See, when they talk to some people just go to work, go home, and what kind of life is that?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, a lot of people still just go home. So some people are, all right, so look, some people have so much bills that they can't even afford to enjoy sometime, you know, like it's holiday coming up. It's how some people cannot even afford to enjoy the holiday,
That's true.
right? Because we have lived in a society based on credit. So even when you get a day to enjoy, you can't because you have to manage your social media accounts too, because sometimes these things lend to toxic environment, right?
They do. They do.
Yes, they do. The media and all lend to the toxic environment. So you must be in control of what you want to enter your space, not just your physical space,
Well
but
said.
your spiritual, your emotional space, and your mental space. You must control what do you want to enter and what time do you want it to enter, because unfortunately, we live in a toxic society on so many different levels. So, Mr. Stevens, so Charles, that is where I would like to leave it and do something. Don't just do something. If it's a half an hour, if it's a half day, do something. Forget everything, because as they rightly say, the world continues going on. Either with you or without you.
And it will go on.
Thank you very much, Junior. I think that's a beautiful way for us to leave it this morning.
Excellent.
You know,
Yes.
take some time out for yourself because the world goes on, and that's what I was saying. You know, at the end of it all, while regardless of what you do, the world will move on. You know, so
Doesn't stop.
take some time for yourself in between there.
Yep.
Uh, I have one other listener coming in very last minute, Steve.
Okay. All right. I'm there. I'm not going
All
anywhere.
right. Okay. Mr. Hotep, good morning.
This call is
Good
being
morning. Sorry to do that.
No problem. We welcome you.
But I want to give a different perspective on stress, right? Because far too often we are told stress is all negative, and I think stress is also positive. Stress lets you know that there are things to work out. People can be stressed from things that are good. For example, if I say something that you are unfamiliar with or challenges your idea or something, you will feel stressed. It don't necessarily mean I'm wrong. It just means that you are just unfamiliar with something and you need to find a way to process it properly. So that stress is alerting you to something, but it does not necessarily mean something is particularly wrong. It just means you have to develop a whole way of assessing things differently so that the things that you are hearing that may be different to your own does not overly stress you. But stresses and sufferings are important because suffering allows you to examine what you're doing, and there's something called legitimate suffering. If you recognize you are doing something badly and the net result is a certain amount of anguish, and you embrace that properly, own it, because you recognize you did not do things properly, that allows for tremendous growth, right? Without a feedback system to let you know when things are not right, either with you or within the wider society, there'll be little to propel people towards improvement.
Yeah.
So I'm making the point that stressors need to be evaluated properly, because sometimes the things people do to try to escape stress allow the stress to show up in different areas in their lives then, even in their health.
Yeah.
Because they're not really addressing stresses properly, which is to facilitate growth. They're trying to escape it.
That's
And most people don't embrace sufferings when they recognize that they contribute to it. And there's something called legitimate suffering. You deal with the consequences of things that you dealt badly and learn from it. You know, because all these things facilitate growth, and trying to escape it is why you just remain trapped sometimes in very dangerous vicious cycles.
very true.
Yeah, thanks very much for your input. Yeah, look at it from a different angle.
That's
As
right.
they say, the glass is half full or the glass is half empty.
But
And,
there's always that. There's always the positive side.
Yeah, and there are some people who there are some people who would wake up and say, "Come, where's the drama today?" Yeah. If you don't have some drama, I am not to work at, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is it. Some people say, "You see that I ain't want no drama today," no? But some people, look at it differently. But Steve, thank you so much as always, for your contribution. Thanks to the people who contributed in between and all those who are listening.
Right. So,
Yes, tell people to get in contact with you.
okay, so we are at our physical location is in Cascade, 36 Cascade Road, Cascade, and we can be reached via WhatsApp 4826500, or you can get us in our email, which is foundationhd@gmail.com.
Okay. So thank you very much, Steve. Have a great day, a great week, and God's willing, we will be back here again next week Wednesday.
Same to you. Take care now. Alrighty.
All right, people, as this has been On the Inside, stay with us. We have our major news coming up at 12 o'clock. And remember, this is Reggae-matic Wednesday. So we got a whole lot of good reggae music for you after 12 o'clock.
Children, they try to shame me, setting no rules for the younger ones, bringing such grief and sadness into my household.